folks, we're back again, and today let's start straight to talk about this country that we need to build. The problem is this, folks. While there's this strenuous effort to build the country, there's also, on the other side, a strenuous effort to pull things down. Let's face forward small. I have a little message today for some of the leadership of the NPP. Listen to me. When I do all my analysis, I can say with all confidence that the more I look into the structure of the opposition, the deeper I understand that the opposition is being confronted with two burning issues. Issue number one, parts of the leadership are suffering from what we call cognitive dissonance. No. There is this psychological problem of cognitive dissonance that has hit parts of the leadership of the NPP. The other problem is really undue, sad sense of entitlement that the NPP has, or should I say, some elements of the NPP have. There's this sense of entitlement. I'm going to talk to you about it today, and I'm going to explain everything I say. So first of all, the thing I'm talking about is cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is a very common thing. It's a psychological thing. And that is when you get to the point where your thinking and your actions are actually contrary to what is the reality on the ground. If in a cognitive dissonance, your thinking and your actions are in conflict with what the realities are on the ground. A cognitive dissonance. Let me tell you, folks, from now on, when you hear anybody say, oh, the tables will turn, 2028, the tables will turn.
The table will turn.
Definitely.
2028, it will turn.
Definitely.
Bamia is coming.
The table will turn.
And I can assure you that we shall bounce back in 2028. But when the tables turn,
me patch your friend cognitive dissonance. And I hear it so often. And you wait, 2028, the tables will turn. And when the tables turn, the tables will
turn. The tables will turn. Only communication. I'm telling you, the tables will turn.
It is cognitive dissonance. The thinking is in conflict with what is real on the ground. A cognitive dissonance, folks. Do you know why I say it's cognitive dissonance? The thinking not conforming to reality. Listen, my dear people who are shouting that the tables will turn, let me remind you that Ghanaians, including you, we all went through a period of 8 straight years. 8 years of decay and decadence, went through a period of looting, went through a period of reckless thinking for 8 years. And because of that, because of the 8 years of decay and decadence, that's why Ghanaians overwhelmingly voted the NPP out. Overwhelmingly. Ghanaians went out overwhelmingly to vote you out because of the 8 years of decay. Did you see the election results? The most disastrous effects that have affected the party that was in power was reflected in the election results. Now, this is what I'm talking about, folks. And you think that after all Ghana went through in 8 years, after the turmoil, after the looting,
the NPP is looting this country as if there's no tomorrow. The NPP is looting this country as if there's no tomorrow. Why? What do you mean?
Me bombarding me ye juma and my party no ye be winnie ye nipa bebre ye ba ban mo 8 years ye nipa mo bi ebenye sika enye sa na anka yan winnie election na anka wo be nya sa sika no.
After the massive shameless corruption for straight 8 years, you think, folks, that if Ghanaians have decided to throw that government aside with overwhelming votes, within the next 2 years, Ghanaians are going to go back and vote the NPP back. Your friend cognitive dissonance. I feel what you say. How your thinking and your actions is actually in conflict with the reality on the ground. Your friend cognitive dissonance. So I've heard me, when we come, the tables will turn. 2028.
No, the tables will turn. The tables will turn. Only communication. I'm telling you, the tables will turn. And I can assure you that we shall bounce back in 2028. But when the tables turn,
The table will turn.
definitely,
2028, it will turn.
definitely.
Vamia is coming.
The table will turn.
And when the tables turn to, for information, well, RGP, you'll notice Ebabeko. Remonacha, you'll notice Ebabeko.
Now, Remonacha, the other winning elections in the year. Remonacha, IGP, this Omupe baby no Omushe.
So IGP and Remonacha for now, be very, very careful. Because when the tables turn in 2028, I mean, folks, when I'm saying cognitive dissonance, that's one part of the problem. And the other part of the problem that is affecting certain parts of the leadership of the NPP is this crazy, unthinkable sense of entitlement. Massa, why? What is this sense of entitlement that is so crazy? I just want to say something briefly. Most of us who were not born, forget about them, but all of us here, including all of you who are in parliament now, we were all aware when Kufuor came to power. Of course, as the NPP candidate, he became the president of Ghana. Under Kufuor, we had a law called causing financial loss, where those who have made Ghana record financial losses. Folks, Kufuor tried, and most of them went to jail. Pipra was the finance minister. He was in jail. What's his name? The deputy is called Francis Salome. He was actually, when he was in jail, he was on drip. That's how sick he was. He was tried. He went to court. He went to jail. Malamisa went to jail. There were a whole host of, I don't want to mention names, all the names here. They went to jail. Under the era of Kufuor, when he said people under the NDC who had left office had caused financial loss and they needed to be tried, nobody in this country, whether NDC or civil service or whatever, uttered the word that, oh, this is intimidation. Nobody talked anything about intimidation. They went to court, they sat down, and they were tried, and some of them were sentenced. Intimidation behind some. The most famous person, Chachuchi Kata, the brilliant lawyer that we all know that now even Ghanaians call the law. He went to jail for causing financial loss. He protested, he said he was innocent. And he went to jail. He went to jail. Later on, when Mr. Kufuor rescinded the charges that he's forgiving him, he says, don't forgive me. I didn't do anything bad for you to forgive me. The charges were wrong. Chachu actually went to court. I don't know how many years it took, but the court eventually came out and said, no, you didn't cause any financial loss. Chachu is free. Now, the point I'm making is this. No one interfered with President Kufuor when he was trying the lineup of former NDC activists. Because what? It's the law. Law now about financial loss. So you say, what cause of financial loss? Economic minister, only deputy, nobody talked about intimidation. The same thing happened under President Kufuor. People were jailed under his tenure regarding financial loss and stuff. We know. There was not a word from anyone that I could find. Charlie, this one there is intimidation. I don't know where the word came from. That's the NPP's favorite word now, intimidation.
The New Patriotic Party is a strong party. We have men who are very resilient. They are men who will not be coerced by all these tactics of intimidation.
The new NPP, we are more resilient than they can imagine. Until all these intimidating tactics and strategies to keep us quiet, it will not work.
Master, you've been in power for 8 years. There'll be so much bleeding, there'll be so much looting.
The NPP is looting this country as if there's no tomorrow. The NPP is looting this country as if there's no tomorrow. Why? Who raised that Yagogabuji? What do you mean?
Me bo modern me ye juma e ma party no ye be wi ni ye nipa bebre ye ba aban mo 8 years ye nipa mu bi e be nya sika enya sa na anka yan we ni election na anka wo be nya sa sika no.
NPP people should be happy to join all Ghanaians that those who stole our money should be found and prosecuted. This is not a party issue. This is a national issue. So at this point, even people who are not NDC should join the crusade to say, yes, let's find them and smoke them out. But what do we see? The minute NDC won, they started talking about the oral. That's when it started. That's when they started. I think even as far back as then, Afonyo Makin said, this is nothing but a witch hunt.
I condemn in no uncertain terms the establishment of a so-called committee called ORA. I hold a humble view that it is a needless committee. It has no constitutional backing, and this committee is only in for personal vendetta. If we allow this committee to continue with its so-called wild goose chase, it will disturb the governance of this country. We don't need any so-called aura. I regret that members of this hallowed chamber are advocates of this illegal, unconstitutional so-called body called ORA. Mr. Speaker, let me remind my colleagues that the incoming minority caucus has a mantra, and I will disclose a mantra to them: touch one, touch all. We are not going to allow you to use unconstitutional means to shut us up, to frustrate people, to chase people into their homes.
That was the decision right there. That was nothing but the witch hunt. I think a few days later, some other NPP person also did a press conference that if you are ever called for the loot, don't show up.
And so if you are a former government official and you're invited by this so-called ORA, advice to you from the minority is to boycott any invitation from the ORA team. We are not going to be part of it.
So, folks, 1 minute, what has changed? When NDC and people were being tried under quasi-financial laws, did you see the members of parliament marching to the court or wherever to protest? No. Maybe you saw it, I didn't see it. It was just accepted that said the law is the law. They are breaking the law. They must answer for the law. Did you see masses of people watching, going there to protest? Who doesn't know that Wontumi is alleged to be one of the worst criminals and the worst people who have looted this country? It has been alleged. Who doesn't know? Who doesn't know of the record that Wontumi has of one being alleged in Ghana, say the forest, the bleeding of the country. Who doesn't know?
Investigations established that though Chairman Wontumi submitted the forged receipt to Exim Bank, he stated during interrogation that he purchased second-hand brand new, whatever that means, second-hand brand new equipment, and that the receipts of all the purchases, including the documents on the equipment, were all sent to Exim Bank. However, Exim Bank has confirmed that neither Chairman Wontumi nor Wontumi Farms Limited submitted any documents covering the purchase of the required equipment except the forged receipts. In fact, when our investigators went to the ground, they realized that there were some obsolete, decrepit machines on the side, tractors dating back that were manufactured in the 1970s, and that were not functioning, were the ones that had been placed on the farm. So this was definitely a grand scheme designed to defraud Exim Bank. It is clear from our investigation that Chairman Wontumi and his company, Wontumi Farms Limited, made fraudulent misrepresentations to Exim Bank with a view to obtaining the loan facility, and in fact did obtain the loan facility. The equipment they represented were to be purchased were never procured. The farming enterprise never materialized, and so no young persons were employed in Asare Nkwanta in the Ashanti region. But more importantly, the company and its director and CEO forged a receipt in order to deceive Exim Bank that they were in compliance with the loan conditions. These are not mere breaches of a contract, but constitute acts of criminality, by no means a person than the regional chairman of the then ruling party. In the circumstances and the face of the evidence we have gathered in this investigation, thoroughly conducted by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, we have made the decision to prosecute Wontumi Farms and its directors with defrauding by false pretenses, forgery, and causing financial loss to the state in the sum of 24,255,735 Ghana cedis.
Don't we all know it? But what happened when Wontumi was arrested? Dignified people, including lawyers, the majority, they led parliament to go and sit at Yoko to protest the arrest of Wontumi.
I'm so sure that we have to be very aggressive. I'm convinced beyond every reasonable doubt that we have to be very aggressive and maybe destructive. We are so sure that if by 6 or 7 p.m., if Chairman Wontumi is not released or granted bail, Ghanaians will see something different in this country.
Why? Entitlement. That's the message. We are superior people. You dare not touch us. So once you touch us, hey, we shall protest. It's intimidation. Then you walk over to the white people, the chief diplomat, the president of diplomats, and to go and complain.
Excellency, so we'll leave this to you. And then we pray that you would engage your fellow ambassadors and high commissioners.
You recall that a week ago we were with the Dean of Diplomatic Corps. Today we are here with the European Commission, European Union Commission as well.
Why are you going to complain? Hasn't it happened before that when your party was in power, the president decided that those who have violated and have caused financial loss should be tried? Didn't that happen? Yes, it did. So why is it now that now people who have been accused of looting, you have come in to complain to us, say, Charlie, something is going wrong? Folks, no. What is this sense of entitlement? Have we all forgotten that the current finance minister now, after forcing, he was going to the court almost on a daily basis. When that ambulance case came and blah, 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 blah. There were attempts to prosecute him and jail him. Did you hear ever any NDC person say, oh, this is intimidation, you're trying to intimidate our party? Master, let's talk facts now. In Senfo, some of the things are so annoying. For dignified people to go and say, yeah, but she won't me. Charlie, these are things that frustrate. I was going to say frustrate people like me, but no, not people like me. It should frustrate every intelligent Ghanaian. Should be frustrated by the fact that certain people will think that they are above the law and you can't arrest them. And when they are arrested, there's one time, Miracles was arrested. Isn't Afenyomakin calling that the Attorney General himself should come to court to answer why he was arrested at the airport? The Attorney General himself will explain.
Mr. Speaker, what is happening to Miracle Abuaji is not good for our democracy. The Attorney General should come to this house and brief us of the situation. Iyoko will arrest people if the person was in the country, has traveled, he's coming, then in a Rambo style, he's arrested. Mr. Speaker, at the airport, detained for over 3 days. Mr. Speaker, and now they are demanding properties worth 55 million cedis before he's granted bail. Let's be careful, my dear political colleagues. Let's be careful, Ghanaian political leaders. It can be somebody today. There is an election ahead. You can never tell. Don't let us encourage some of these excesses. And when we talk about it, don't look at it with a partisan lens. It can be you. Today, we hear what is happening at Gold Board. There are all manner of allegations at Gold Board. We know all manner of allegations in various state institutions. You are also in charge of the coffers. You are in charge of the press. Be careful. Don't ask somebody. He has a wife and children. Already the man was affected by the flood. He lost everything. He's already traumatized. Miracles Abuaji is already traumatized because of the flood. Then to worsen it, you detain him for 3 days and you say if he wants his freedom, he should bring properties worth 50 million cedis. How do you do this? And this is not something that must attract a partisan reaction. It is a human rights issue. The Attorney General must come to this house and brief us on what is happening. Mr. Speaker.
Why? Because we are tired of the intimidation. That's a new word.
The minority leader has no right under the sun to suggest that where an investigative body has conducted a year-long investigation into a matter, has invited the suspects, and now has made a prima facie determination and is effecting arrest that may possibly lead to prosecution. The minority leader is on this floor saying that we should invite the Attorney General to come and respond to what? That we must not demand accountability from public office holders. Is it not the same man who stands on this floor and cautioning us that we as politicians we should be careful, and that it is the public servants who who do all the things and we get blamed. And today, when a public servant is getting blamed, you are saying that he shouldn't be blamed. So, by all means, we can do politics, but some of the things, Mr. Speaker, it must not be countenanced on this floor.
Even, what's his name, Merkel himself, when he went out on bail, was promising Ghanaians that there is the quote-unquote, the new NPP. And quote-unquote, the new NPP will not be intimidated. We shall continue to speak.
The new NPP, we are more resilient than they can imagine. Into all these intimidating tactics and strategies to keep us quiet, it will not work. It will not work. It's not something that will work.
I was very disappointed when Merkel, after he had gotten bail, some of the statements that he chose to make a political rally out of it.
The earlier they begin to focus on the things that matter, that bring food to the table of the Ghanaian people, the better for them. If you October last year, you haven't been able to pay some teachers for 15 months. Some nurses you haven't paid for 15 months. There are areas in Accra that have been seeing water flow through their taps since August. Senior high schools, they haven't received their feeding grants since October last year. You have increased electricity by 24%, increased water by 15%. People close from work at 5 p.m. They can't find transport. They get home at 12 a.m. and they have to wake up at 3 a.m. and still get to the office after 8. Those are the very important things that the Ghanaian people need the government to address. You promise the young people 3-shift job system. You haven't been able to even keep the power on for the single shifts in the crowd to work. And yet to go about harassing your opponent, arresting your opponent, ransacking their homes, frivolous charges and all manner of things.
Massa, the best thing is, folks, I've been accused of allegedly chopping 55 billion. It is not true. We are going to go to court. And I trust the legal system. And when we go to court, the legal system will prove to every Ghanaian that it is not true. Why didn't you say that? You didn't even mention anything about the charges that you have embezzled. I won't use embezzled, that you have stolen 55 million. No reference to that too. Rather, it was the country is back in doom so, and this is what Ghanaians voted you for. The country is doing this, and the people are poor. Massa, entitlement, and cognitive dissonance is killing this nation. And right now, it has just infested the NPP to such amazing and deplorable levels. Cognitive dissonance. We are coming back 2028, then you will see. Let's give notice to 1, 2, 3 people. When we come back 2028 here.
The tables will turn. The tables will turn. Only communication. I'm telling you, the tables will turn. And I can assure you that we shall bounce back in 2028. But when the tables turn,
the table will turn.
Definitely.
2028, it will turn.
Definitely.
Bamia is coming.
The table will turn.
Missy, when you hear anybody talking about the tables will turn in 2028, tell them you heard KSM saying on the show that is called cognitive dissonance. So this is what I expect America to do. Come on, let's go to court. If I'm lying, the courts will find out that I'm lying. But I say I haven't done anything. You didn't mention anything about that. On that day, you chose to tell us what the supposedly new NPP is. You can't be what? What's the great word? Intimidated. Again, intimidated. That's a new word.
The new NPP, we are more resilient than they can imagine. Into all these intimidating tactics and strategies to keep us quiet, it will not work. It will not work. It's not something that will work.
You can't be intimidated. Meanwhile, the accountant who was accused together with the miracles has actually agreed. He's actually paying some installments. We'll try small. That's the part of the plea deal. And like I keep saying, as a plea deal, dear, whenever anybody makes a plea deal, whether you like it or not, it is an admission of guilt. I'm a yes, I did it. Yes, I stole it. But I'll pay back small. That's a plea deal. So a plea deal is admission of guilt. So it's interesting that the accountant is sort of agreeing and paying small, and Miracles is saying, this is not what Ghana voted for. We voted for water. It's been raining and no people.
The earlier they begin to focus on the things that matter, that bring food to the table of the Ghanaian people, the better for them. Say if you October last year, you haven't been able to pay some teachers for 15 months. Some nurses you haven't paid for 15 months. There are areas in Accra that have been seeing water flow through their taps since August. Senior high schools, they haven't received their feeding grants since October last year. You have increased electricity by 24%, increased water by 15%. People close from work at 5 p.m., they can't find transport, they get home at 12 a.m. and they have to wake up at 3 a.m. and still get to the office after 8. Those are the very important things that the Ghanaian people need the government to address. You promise the young people 3-shift job system. You haven't been able to even keep the power on for the single shifts in the crowd to work.
It has no relevance whatsoever to your arrest. Stay on why you are arrested and explain that. Please, this is getting too much. And I hear what his face to, known to me, with the Exim Bank fiasco thing, has also decided that he wants a plea deal. And for which I hear even the courts have given him some time to figure out that whole plea deal arrangement. What I'm saying is that when you're being a plea dealer, it means there's guilt. So certain things, that's the democracy we have voted for, unfortunately. And we have to understand too that the law is the law.
No matter how many noises are made, the law is the law.
And it's part of the democracy we voted for, unfortunately. That's why, this is just an aside, when you take NDC and then you take NPP, there are many people who are upset with NDC. And they're upset with NDC because they are disappointed. When you put NPP here, there are many people who are upset with NDC. And they're upset with NDC because they are disappointed. But on the contrary, when you put NPP here, there are many people who are angry with NPP. And we full NPP. So these people are disappointed. And you know why many of them are disappointed? They are not feeling the fire that these people who have chopped the money, these people who have looted the money, let's just bring them all out and charge them and put them in jail, and they have chopped the money. Let's just be wild. So they are disappointed. Say NDC for wild. They are disappointed with Mahama. Say Mahama when wild. Mahama's in Pamacho, Muslim democracy, so I'm going by the democracy.
Mr. Speaker, I understand that a large majority of Ghanaians are impatient to see those who abuse their public trust in office held to account. Mr. Speaker, there were periods when, under military regimes and unconstitutional governments, extrajudicial means could be used to exact retribution against persons perceived as corrupt or who had abused the mandate given to them by the people. Mr. Speaker, this may have appeared as swift justice, but many regrettable excesses were recorded. In 1992, we overwhelmingly adopted the 1992 Constitution to accept governance by the rule of law. On 7th January, when I swore the oath of office before the people of Ghana, I swore to uphold the 1992 Constitution. I may be as impatient as everyone else to see justice done, but painstaking investigations must be conducted. Dockets must be prepared.
charges must be filed, and the accused must have their day in court, including appealing even on the smallest point of law to higher courts. This process is necessary to protect us all against abuse or ill treatment of citizens, and to ensure that only those guilty of offenses against the state are punished. As President Mills of blessed memory said, he said, and I quote, "The wheels of justice grind slowly, but they grind exceedingly fine."
And I was saying, no, when you're wild. But on the contrary, the people who are on the side of the NPP, they are angry. Do you know why they're angry? I'm saying, not day. Lootings are here and come over here.
The NPP is looting this country as if there's no tomorrow. Why? Who really got your what do you mean?
Yeba by mo 8 years. Nipa mo bi ebenye sika. Enyesa na anka yan wini election na anka ubenya sa sika no.
So there's anger. Now the reason I'm saying this is simply to tell you that the very, very funny thing is this. The crop of the leadership of the NPP that is talking about intimidation and how they are fighting intimidation and how they are going to all the white diplomats and everything to plead to them about intimidation.
Your Excellency, so we'll leave this to you, and then we pray that you engage your fellow ambassadors and high commissioners.
You recall that a week ago we were with the Dean of Diplomatic Corps. Today we are here with the European Commission, European Union Commission as well.
Those who are disappointed on the side of the NDC are disappointed because some say they haven't gone far enough. It's like I'm by now. What is happening? I even hear that Wontumi has gone to pay a visit to Nanado to ask for his blessings as he tries to contest to become chairman of the party. You see where the anger will come from? The anger will come from the anger to the NPP. Said, you are now even trying to be chairman of the party. That's where the anger will come from. The disappointment too will come from the NDC. Say, so with all these things you have said about this man, we have sat down and this man is even going to see blessings to run for chairmanship. Where are we going? Masha, let's not allow anybody to change the law. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. The same law of financial laws that Kufuor and Kufuor used and went and arrested NDC people when NDC people were quiet because it was the law. Please, that same law should apply now so that you stop wasting our ears with this intimidation.
The New Patriotic Party is a strong party. We have men who are very resilient. There are men who will not be coerced by all these tactics of intimidation.
The new MPP, we are more resilient than they can imagine. Until all these intimidating tactics and strategies to keep us quiet, it will not work. It will not work.
We will never keep quiet. Intimidation, we'll keep quiet. Fine, talk. Don't keep quiet. Don't keep quiet. We need an active position that will talk. But please also understand that we need also an active government that will stick by the law and enforce the law. And when it comes to enforcing the law and sticking by the law, there is intimidation. But under your era, when the same law was used for financial law, that one, it was the law. Let's get real, folks. I bring it back to, if we are serious, say this country should rise and be the country that we all want it to be, then let us respect the law and the so-called democracy that we say we want and do the right thing. Folks, really, what really annoys me is the new word now, intimidation. Massa. You have the right to do everything you want, including looting. But if Yoko investigates the looting, it's intimidation. It is not. It is the law. Uresika, there are consequences. Ulutusika, there are consequences. And that is what is happening now. These are the consequences of 8 years of decadence. It is not intimidation. But that's why I said that I feel this sense of cognitive dissonance. Do you know why there's this sad episode of cognitive dissonance in the ranks of some of the NPP people? Cognitive dissonance is always triggered by a shock. Something can shock you to the extent that then you can get cognitive dissonance. And the shock was the results of the election. The way Ghanaians voted to give NDC two-thirds majority was a shock. The reaction to the shock should be sober, mature, calculated, calm, not emotional. The reaction to the shock has been emotional. And don't worry, 2028 here, we are coming back. And when the tables stand, you'll see.
The tables will turn. The tables will turn. Only communication. I'm telling you, the tables will turn. And I can assure you that we shall bounce back in 2028. But when the tables turn,
the table will turn.
Definitely.
2028, it will turn.
Definitely.
Bamia is coming.
The table will turn.
Emotional. It is not calculated thinking. 2020 December, this is what we'll do.
Now, Ramanata, the other winning elections in the year. Ramanata, IGP, this Omupe baby no Amusha.
Let me tell you the interesting thing. Being in opposition with such a desperate minority, this is the time now to regroup and let Ghanaians know that, well, mistakes were made, but this is what we will do whenever we get a chance to come back. Correct things. Try your best to win the hearts and the minds of Ghanaians. Taking from your own slogan, it is possible to get Ghanaians to rethink things. But no, rather you're doing and saying things more that will even make them more distant. Massa, let me tell you something that I noticed. You know, when Wuntumi was arrested, and all these dignified people thinking that they're entitled and they're above the law, how dare you touch Wuntumi? We will go to Yoko and protest. We shall go down and sit on the floor. It is wrong. How dare you? And you all saw it, folks.
I'm so sure that we have to be very aggressive. I'm convinced beyond every reasonable doubt that we have to be very aggressive and maybe destructive. We are so sure that if by 6 or 7 p.m., if Chamawu to me is not released or granted bail, Ghanaians will see something different in this country.
You all saw it. Distinguished people taking it to the floor. Why? Because they have arrested somebody who is alleged to have stolen millions and caused destruction. You went out there to protest. Okay, we are here. Protesting is also constitutional. However, folks, let's fast forward small. The man that you want to sit out there says Onyehui. The man you claim is so innocent and you won't allow government to intimidate. So you want to sit out there to protest. No? Eventually, this man himself says, obey a plea deal. Like I said earlier, plea deal just means his admission of guilt. Also could be a plea deal. And I think, maybe I'm wrong, I think that is why when Miracles was arrested, we didn't see Parliament marching out there to go and sit and say, free Miracles. And because you knew that you couldn't get intelligent NPP people to march and go and sit out there. You saw that. You knew. You saw it coming. From the Wontumi example, so you saw it coming. And because you knew that that wouldn't happen, what was the next best option? Oh, let's go and rent a crowd. And look at the people that you went out to arrest. People were out there who didn't know why they were there. There was this guy there saying he's there to protest. Why? Because the government has arrested Remonacha.
I hear you are singing some song, Remonacha. Which Remonacha?
He's the one.
He's the one who has been arrested?
Yes. And we want them to bring him out.
NPP. How?
You know why people gather for here?
I know.
No. What be the reason?
The reason say if the people give the one.
What do you think the charges are for?
The charges is one of the charges. I know is they say is insulting our president.
Really?
Yeah, that's the main reason why they catch
another. Now the team now who say action Marshawa.
I don't know team say.
Now only people
to be honest, we need them work about NPP niba. Anything else you can one bomber. Yaba say yaba for one the big jana.
After wash death of parents or the
These were the people you want to recruit. They didn't even know why they were there. But why were they there? You drew some money to them. One guy was saying they must say 1515. I don't know whether 15 is 150 cedis or 1,500 minimum. But say my coins there maybe is 150. Because 1,500 then your coins. I say my coins. That guy so poverty ridden, so broke, so hungry that he says that if you give him his coins, Kotibanku.
I didn't buy okay. More fear number from the demonstrations in Brana. Me Okada people for no. I'm not my friend. Yeah.
Banama Banmuya, you was scared of Mamma and say,
I'm not a fool, my movie is almost on Meche Queen's Kakra.
Queen's no Saka.
This is Dufias and I'm Sabacam Queens. And then I'm a Sakam Queen, I've been put a video. We also have my 1515. 1.5. 1.5. Obinia, Unia with my child. Benkubia, any Vina.
People working there, Basa, they don't even know why they are there. Because they are there because some very, very intelligent, very, very high thinking NPP person decided actually, and because some circles, to whatever they are, you come on, and some protest. Eban is saying. I feel the Remonacha and Achino. Folks, I don't want to talk too long, but it's the interest of the NPP and the leadership of the NPP to grow past this cognitive dissonance. Because cognitive dissonance makes you do maybe sometimes unthinkable things. Just because you're in opposition, you must oppose. One of the unthinkable things that comes out of cognitive dissonance is what this woman did. I think her name is Honorable Patricia Page. Have a whole press conference after the floods. The same floods which the same people accuse Mahama that he didn't go out there in the floods to go and show he cared, and he doesn't care. That was the charge. Mahama cares.
We have not seen the president visiting families. We saw him in the air. We saw him in the helicopter. Mr. Speaker, those who lost their lives, we have not seen any government official reaching out to them, their families. Those who lost properties, we have not seen any action from government. What we know is that the president was comfortably in the helicopter in the name of surveying, finding out. But Mr. Speaker, the people who suffered are in their homes. The people who suffered, Mr. Speaker, are Mayor Shipon.
The same Mahama that you say doesn't care now says, I'm authorizing the release of 350 million Ghana cedis. Let us arrange to help the flood victims.
Yesterday, His Excellency the President of the Republic had to fly over to see the extent of the damage, and this morning, graciously, last night, the President instructed that from their contingency fund, we should be able to access some money. And I'm happy to state, I know the Finance Committee may come and brief the floor and give much details. A total amount of 350 million is being targeted to be used to help in dealing with the challenges that we have. Mr. Speaker, the President has instructed that 200 million will be targeting relief items to this close to over 10,000 households that have been affected across the whole coast. And the 150 will be used to mitigate the flood issues within this, the coastal area.
Is it something that all of us Ghanaians should be happy about, that our taxpayers' money is being used to help the flood victims? No. Cognitive dissonance. Somebody has a press conference to tell, come and explain where you found the 350 million. Want to know whether you took it from a place that's authorized by the Constitution? Come and show where you found the money.
The Ministry of Finance subsequently announced that the 350 million cedis had been released, while the court process remained unresolved. The unavoidable question, therefore, is how did the money move? One conclusion is difficult to escape. If the contingency fund remained under attachment and could not lawfully be assessed, then the emergency disbursement could only have proceeded through another public account. In other words, when the approved source became unavailable, an alternative source appears to have been used. If that is what occurred, then Parliament was never asked to approve the alternative source, and the constitutional requirements governing withdrawals from public funds were bypassed. Yet the Ministry of Finance official statement announced, without qualification, that the money had been released from the contingency fund. If the funds were in fact drawn from another account, then that statement did not accurately reflect what transpired. If the 350 million was drawn from any account other than the contingency fund, then the approval Parliament granted was never executed. The withdrawal that was executed was never approved. And the Constitution and the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, which criminalizes unauthorized withdrawals of public funds, have been violated in broad daylight.
Well, democracy, we must have some truth there, because it will limit you where you can take the funds off, blah, 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 blah. But even if that is the case, which I know it isn't, no, there's been a flood. People are dying. People are suffering. If you can dip into contingency to help them, should you hold a press conference to find out where it was taken from? A cognitive dissonance. Back to your whatever, chat GPT now, go and understand what I'm saying. Your actions are in conflict with the reality. Masha, let's move on. You don't know where we got the money to help flood victims. Now, we have gotten to the point where the committee investigating crimes, YOCO, when they invite people, you protest. You are intimidating us. So what are you telling us? What should Ghana do? We should make an official law and say that from now on, all those people who have looted the money, we beg you, or we apologize, keep the loot, we won't investigate you. Is that what we are asking Ghanaians to do now? Because the minute they are invited to come and explain the loot, hey, you are intimidating us. I think Erastus Donko, wherever you are, I salute you. I've never met you, but I respect you from afar because I know you're a gallant fighter and a crusader against Galamsey, and I really totally respect you. And I like your quotation on Facebook. He said, only in Ghana, people who steal state money are glorified, while the youth who lost their money defend the thieves. Did you hear that? Only in Ghana. Only in Ghana is a country where the people who steal money, they are glorified. They are glorified. Parts of the opposition, I'm saying parts because I'm thinking not all. No. Anybody intelligent will not glorify crime. But those who are stealing, we are glorifying them. We will march, we will leave Parliament to protest somebody who has stolen money. We glorify them. And Erastus says that, and the funny thing is that the youth, more youth, the future of your hospitals, the future of your schools, the future of everything that's good for you when you grow up, the money has been stolen. You more are on bicycles parading. Free Dennis Mraklabwaji. But I don't even want to talk about you because I can't blame you. Masa, I blame poverty. Say, when somebody is very, very, very broke and doesn't even know what they're going to eat the day, and you promise them that you give them akpeteshi to drink and no coffee to buy a banku, they will follow you. So I don't blame them. I'm sad that they didn't know what they were doing. They are not even intelligent enough to know what they were doing. But my dear NPP, let me say this. If you have to resort to recruiting unintelligent people, poverty-stricken people who do not know what the hell is going on, if that is your last resort, then there's trouble for you. That's why every time you say, when the tables turn, I tell you, it is cognitive dissonance. Folks, I've said all I wanted to say today. I just wanted Ghanaians to understand that, Charlie. It's so sad though. Do you know the good things that are happening in Ghana that we don't talk about? I blame myself too. They come and stand here and concentrate all their attention on silly press conferences about why we are helping flood victims, instead of concentrating on what is actually being done on the ground. And there's a whole show coming where we'll show you things that are being done on the ground and why these things should succeed, because these are the things that will form the foundation of the Ghana we want. So folks, until we come back, let me say, we'll keep working, we'll keep fighting, we'll keep pushing so that finally when Ghana turns 70, we can avoid it. On that day, we can say something more meaningful about this country than talk about people who are dragging this nation only because they had the chance to loot and they don't want to be tried. They are being quote unquote intimidated. Shall they forget all of that? This country shall rise again.